Hey, cousin. Welcome to my podcast, The Liberal Black. I am your host, Mr. Cleo. The Liberal Black is unapologetically a podcast for black folks from all walks of life. But it is also a place for allies, too. Y'all are invited to the barbecue. It's a variety type show, a podcast, where we can be serious and deep thinking in one episode or laughing to release some tension in another. I hope this can be a place for us to be entertained and maybe we can be inspired along the way. Now, some episodes may feature a guest or expert, while others, I'm riding solo. Now, join me, fam, for what is sure to be a fantastic voyage. I am Mr. Cleo, and you are listening to The Liberal Black. Hey, so in this episode of The Liberal Black, we are talking about black stuff in the news. And as we said before, as it was mentioned in the intro, I am your host, Mr. Cleo. And today, we're going to get right on into it, starting with our dear friend from New York City, and I say that sarcastically, Amy Cooper. So, it looks like that Christian Cooper, ironically, the handsome, fine, gay, black bird watcher that Amy Cooper was calling the police on and putting on that fake voice. Oh, help me, police. The black man is trying to get me. You know, she put that voice on for them. And so, of course, she lost her job, and I'm sure she's a pariah in her neighborhood, and her family is probably incredibly embarrassed, and yada, yada, yada. No one wants to be her friend. And so the DA, of course, is looking into pressing charges against her, but Christian is being uncooperative. In Christian's words, Yahoo News was reporting that Christian said that, you know, on the one hand, she's already paid a steep price. And, you know, maybe that is enough of a deterrent to others. But he said that if the DA feels like they want to bring charges against her, I'm paraphrasing, that they can basically do it without him because he don't want to add to it anymore. Well, that's his right. I get it. You know, clearly this good-looking bird watcher does not want to pile on to this woman's misery. Although on the one hand, I can see that, you know, I too am a forgiving person. I get it, you know, wanting to be, realizing that people make mistakes. I just feel like because that could have been such a deadly mistake to him, that could have been for him, that, and because it's happened so much, because it happens so often, and that white people are weaponizing our blackness, and our police they know the police weaponizes it already, and they're using it blatantly, and the fact that that is happening feels like that there should be some sort of, even if Amy isn't convicted or gets charged formally, it needs to initiate some kind of law on the books that begins to stop this. Because you've heard it before, people. We talked about Emmett Till. Well, we didn't talk about it on this podcast, but you know what I mean. It's been talked about, Emmett Till, and what happened with him being killed for whatever he said to that white woman that day that was innocuous. And that kind of thing is, of course, extremely problematic, and we do need some laws or something in the system, on the books, that makes white people who might have a tendency to do something like this think twice about it, right? So, kudos to you, Christian Cooper, with your fine self. You have a fan. I might even get into bird watching. You doing some online classes, Christian? All right, anyway. So, moving on to Another topic that is serious is the Brianna Taylor. We still do not have justice for Brianna Taylor. But unfortunately, it looks like that FX, the channel FX, and Hulu are getting together with the New York Times to feature a documentary about the life and the death, the murder of Brianna Taylor. And so this is being reported on BET.com. And apparently it's going to be a series, and it looks like it's going to be directed by this young man named Yoruba Richin, or maybe it's Riken, who also directed a documentary called The New Black back in 2013, which was a documentary about same-sex marriage in the black community. And honestly, I did not know that existed, that documentary, so that's something I need to take a look at. If you've seen it, that documentary already, hit me with the comments, send us an email, let us know what you thought about that, okay? But apparently this person's going to be, Yoruba is going to be directing this documentary, and it looks like the series is set to premiere July 10th. So let's look out for that, and it's going to be every Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time through this collaboration with Hulu and FX. And I'm trying this new thing for those of you right now who are watching this who might be watching this on YouTube. I'm trying to record simultaneously, or I'm not even going to try to say that other word. I'm trying to record the video for YouTube of the podcast, so that if you are more of a visual person, you can go to YouTube and watch the podcast there. Or if you're in your car, hey, or you want to fall asleep to the dulcet sounds of my voice. Hey, how are ya? How's it going? Just kidding. So you have some options there. Now, next, I'm kind of happy. I was happy when I heard about this, that Patrick Ian Polk brought back a reunion episode of Noah's Ark. Yes, the 15th anniversary reunion special is how it was billed. So that's really cool. It filmed on Sunday, it was showed on Sunday, July 5th. I did not watch it live. I watched it after it, like a few days later after it was up, which I'm glad I did, because there was a lot of talking before the episode started, with different people like Lena Waithe. I think Karamo from Queer Eye was talking. I think I saw T.S. Madison talking too. All these are great people, but I wasn't here for all that talking. I was here to see what was going on with the people from the show. So I fast forwarded through all of that, and it was quite a bit of it too. And got going with the episode. And it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Just the nostalgia of it all, even though it was all on, they were YouTubing or Zooming is what they were doing. Like so many other shows, like Saturday Night Live is doing right now too. So it was really, really interesting to see these guys who all look really good. They all looked really good, looked like themselves. I'm gonna try to keep it positive. The acting level was the same. So those of you who watched the show, if someone you thought was an okay actor back then when we used to watch the show, they're still an okay actor now. And that's fine. This is just my opinion. And but it was a nice stroll down memory lane. spoiler alert, everybody's together except for that one dude who always was hoeing around. Who? Okay, I'm gonna let it go. Let that alone. He looked different. He looked different. Like maybe he had some work done. I don't know. This is what it looked like to me, but that doesn't mean it's true. But anywho, it was all nice. And then the moment came when, because I was waiting for Alex's husband, Trey, to hit the scene. And I just remember having a crush on that character, when I was younger, whenever that show first came out. And so, child, I had to go look him up. What is that man's name? Gregory Keith. Gregory Keith. You were so fine. Just a beautiful, beautiful man. And I hope he's as nice as he appears to be on the show. Because to be so fine and so nice, glory be. But anywho, so I enjoyed that walk down memory lane with the show, and even that little moment where they kind of gave a nod to Sex and the City when Noah was trying all the different clothes on, and it was just good to see everyone together again, right? It was nice. And you know what I really, really appreciated, Patrick Ian Polk, what I really appreciated from this show? I love the fact that Janet Jackson's Gonna Be Alright was playing. That's a song from her Unbreakable album. It's a great song. Sorry, I got a little saliva in my throat. It's a great song. It sounds, she sounds so much like Michael Jackson on it. And I do remember reading a review or some interview with Jimmy Jam talking about it and how she finally let herself go and, to just not try to worry about sounding like her brother and just let it do what it do. Or maybe she even tried to sound like him. I don't know. But she does sound like him a little bit and she sounds like herself. Just it's a great moment. It was a pleasant surprise to see that song bookend the show. Yes, it started the show and it ended the show. So that was a really nice surprise. And then moving on into some other, I guess, entertainment news, or just something I thought was interesting. I saw that CNN was reporting that Tiffany Haddish shaved her head. And there's nothing dramatic here. It's not like a Britney Spears emotional kind of thing. It was just something that I guess she wanted to try. Now, in the article, she says that, no, I'm not going through anything. I just wanted to try this. I know all the moles on my body, and I wanted to explore my head. Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone. So with that, I was thinking, well, I'm bald headed underneath here. Usually I'm shaved a little bit more clean shaven, but it's COVID hair, I guess, that a lot of us have. So anyway, so she wanted to explore that, and I was thinking, do I know every inch of my body? And there's a lot of inches here. Once again, I'm gonna leave that alone. So this is gonna seem like we bouncing all over the place, because we are bouncing all over the place, because we are all over the place right now. All right? Okay. So, I talked about this on one of my other podcasts. This guy, Javier Escada. Now, Javier Escada, and I'm going to mispronounce this town, Joliet. Javier Escada, who was a part of the Joliet police, he was a sergeant. He blew the whistle on on the murder of Eric Leary, on how the police didn't do right by this man, and how he died in the back of the police squad car. One of the things, I don't know if he released the video. I have a feeling that's what he did. Forgive me if I get that wrong. Feel free to comment on that and let me know exactly what happened with that. So, Escada, he blew the whistle on this situation, but now get this. Escada has been relieved of duty. They took his squad car, they took his gun, they took his badge. Now I'm wondering, what was the justification that they gave for doing that? Right? We all know what it was, because when he was talking to the people on the news on CBS 2 News that was investigated by Dave Savini, he knew that there was probably be some kind of repercussions, retaliation. That's the word I'm looking for. Some kind of retaliation against him for doing this. But your boy, he just said, I don't fear no man but God, so let them do what they're going to do. And so I hope he meant it, because they came for him. Now, apparently, Eric Leary, if you don't know, had some plastic lodged in his throat. How did the plastic get in his throat from sitting in the back of the police car? You already know. Now, so he's having the plastic lodged in the back of his throat, and old boy's going to also hold his nose, and this man is handcuffed. Oh, Jesus, man. Now, this is going to sound real stupid, maybe. But maybe you can understand. I don't know if you've ever been chewing on some taffy, chewing on some sour candy, any of that kind of plasticky, candy, like gummy bears or whatever, and or like an annihilator. Now this is good for an annihilator. It's good to do this. When it gets kind of you don't like dissolve it all the way in your mouth, and you go to swallow it, and then it gets stuck in your throat a little bit, and you try to, get it. Can you imagine you trying to do that you have that choking moment, and somebody's holding your nose? I mean, so continuing in this vein, this disturbing vein, just today, today being July 8th, 2020, the transcript for George Floyd's murder was released. Now, when I first saw the title of this was on BET.com. When I first saw the title of this, I was like, we don't need no transcript. We saw the video. We heard it for ourselves. But when I read the article and read some of the transcript, there were things that was said that I didn't see or hear, because I didn't sit and watch the whole thing from beginning to end. I think I watched the last, I can't really, I don't know what the timing was. I forget, how long it was that the guy held him down, but maybe the last, I don't remember. I don't remember, because I was conflicted about watching that kind of, I didn't want to be participating in watching trauma porn, but at the same token, I wanted to be a witness. You know what I mean? I wanted to be a witness. I wanted to be able to, I didn't think I needed a transcript, but apparently there was a couple of things I did miss from it. And, we all saw that he was calling for his mother. We all saw that, but I think I missed the part where he said, tell my kids I love them and I'm dead. Tell my kids I love them, I'm dead. Whew. I was talking to one of my friends, and listen, I have never been a violent person. It's just not my nature. But I tell you, y'all, if something like that happened to me, If something like that happened to me, my ghost is watching. And no justice, no peace. No justice, no peace, honey. If you don't know what I'm saying, I ain't talking to you. Anyway, so we're going to transition back into something else on a different note. So I am watching this show on HBO Max called I May Destroy You, that is written and directed and starring Michaela Cole, who's a black British actress. She got big for her show, Chewing Gum, that was on Netflix. I'll just go ahead and say, I watched maybe 2 or 3 episodes of Chewing Gum. I didn't really get into it. I just didn't get into it. But maybe I'll go back and look at it now because I'm really into her new show, I May Destroy You, on HBO. But I was reading a recent article that was talking about how she just turned down $1 million on Netflix because Netflix didn't want to give her the rights to her any rights to the movie, like to the series. If she did a renewal, and they talking about she was asking for not a whole lot, like 5%, and they got down to as much as 0.5%, and they wouldn't give her that. I'm like, what is going on in the name of stealing from artists? In the name of not giving artists what they should be getting for their work? Like, what is going on? They ain't Netflix. And I'm sure it ain't just Netflix, but dang. But this woman bet on herself. Michaela Cole bet on herself and said, no thank you, Netflix, no thank you. And went off, wrote up something else, and here she is with I May Destroy You on HBO Max. And let me say, if you haven't watched up to, I think we're on episode 5 at this point. So if you haven't watched up to episode 5, and I believe it's an 8-episode season from what I read, turn down the volume, skip a little bit, a few seconds, because I'm about to talk about it. When I first watched it, the first episode, I was disturbed. I really was. And I was talking to the TV, and why is she doing that? And what are you doing? And, oh my God, girl, put them drugs down, and this, that, and third. And I was like, I like to, when I have a visceral reaction to art like that, or to, I like to sit down with myself and ask myself, okay, why were we feeling this way? Why did that do that to us? Whatever. And I'm thinking, why is this girl doing all this stuff? It was so upsetting to me. And so I began to think about my own issues and my own perceptions of gender and women's behavior, and like, what was I projecting onto her? Oh my gosh, I was all in my head. This show gets me going in all kinds of ways. So and then not even to mention the stuff with the gay guy, so being a gay man myself, seeing, that stuff with him being online, and then, a part of me is judging. I'm judging him. The show is nothing like anything we've really seen, I don't think. Especially featuring black actors. But it puts me, if anything, I'm not going to even compare it to anything, because I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it an injustice by comparing it to other shows. But even the gay guy who meets up with the stranger. So the gay guy goes up to the guy's house. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! So the gay guy meets this dude on Grindr. He goes. Well, it could have been Black People Meet. I don't know. We don't want to assume it's Grindr. It could have been Jack. Who knows? But anyway, he goes up. He meets this guy who likes him. Right, handsome black dude with spiky hair and big pretty lips. I guess the guy's kind of in the closet, and then the gay guy, of course, is not in the closet, and but they want to hook up, have roommates or got a mother. So for some reason they can't host. So the guy who likes the gay guy, Kwame, that's character's name, Kwame, I think his name. So let me call him Kwame instead of the gay guy. So Kwame asks the dude, do you want to go somewhere? And the dude is like, sure, I'll go anywhere with you, basically. And so then Kwame finds a hookup on one of the apps. So both of them go over to the hookup's house. Long story short, the cute guy who Kwame brought with him to the hookup's house leaves because he really likes Kwame, and then he sees Kwame like going in with this stranger that they just met, and the whole time I'm going like, Kwame, no, what are you doing, Kwame? This guy is not going to want to be with you when he sees you with someone else. Not nobody who really wants you. Anyway, so the dude leaves. Pretty black man with the big pretty lips. He walks out while they're messing around having sex. Like him, it's us, and they finish having sex. Then Kwame gets dressed, tries to leave, and by the way, Kwame, the dude wanted to have sex without a condom, and Kwame said, "No, I don't do that." Fine, they have sex. The dude, the big lips, leaves. Cut to Kwame getting dressed, trying to leave, and the big dude, the stranger, basically throws Kwame on the bed and rapes him without a condom. Of course, the situation with Arabella, that's Michaela Cole's character, the lead character in I May Destroy You. Arabella, that the dude who took the condom off while he was messing with her. And when he did that, when that dude took that condom off while he was messing with her, I was like, what? And then, of course, they followed it back up with her being like, what? As well. But okay, I didn't mean to turn this into a whole I May Destroy You review, but as you can see, I have been touched. I have been touched by I May Destroy You. But we're going to move on from that onto the other show that I am living for right now that's also in some controversy is Legendary, also on HBO Max. So, if you don't know, now you're about to know. Legendary is a show about the ballroom scene that is on HBO's Max. And it features people you don't know as the judges, except for Megan Thee Stallion. Everyone else may be somebody you're like, oh, I think I might have heard of them. They're not like household names. I love the show. It's so nice to see these young black people who probably for the most part don't come from a lot, and to see them fighting for this $100,000 dream. It's not even just about the money. It is a lot about the money, but it's not just about the money. It's about the fact that these people, I mean, they are fighting so hard through the ballroom. And if you know, ballroom is about voguing and which is so. Anywho, so the show I'm living for because I'm enjoying seeing these brown people because it's not just black people. It's brown people. There's Asian people. There's cis women. There's cis men. There's trans people. It's really a menagerie of people in this thing, and it's so interesting to watch. To see these people fight for their dreams and see them. Some people implode. I'm not saying that's fun, but it just it's a psychological study to watch people. Who fought so hard to get there, and now they're sabotaging themselves in some way. But anyway, very interesting show. But then let me skip to the controversy around the show, though, is that a guy by the name of Michael Rice. Michael Rice is a director, choreographer, director of stage and screen, who apparently I'm not clear, rumor has it, he's out there with a lot of the notices, the news connected with Legendary. Michael excuse me, had pitched the show to HBO or to somebody. He pitched it to somebody, to some house. He might have pitched it directly to HBO, but he pitched it. And he brought a treatment and all this, that, and the third. And then the people decided they were going to pass on it because Pose was coming out on FX. You know, Ryan Murphy and Janet Mock's Pose. And they did not know how that was going to go, so they wanted to wait. And according to what I saw in a YouTube interview that he did, Michael Rice said that he was asked to leave the treatment there for them to basically try to sell it to someone else, or like we are not giving up on it, so leave the treatment with us and we'll make it happen. We're going to keep fighting for you. He leaves the treatment, goes on about his life, then the next thing you know, he's reading in the trades about Legendary. And he's reading how Legendary is all the things that he proposed in his treatment. I think that initially he was proposing Jamil is the young lady who's the host. She's the, I forget, I'm not even going to say what her nationality is because I may get it wrong, and then I don't want nobody saying that I'm, insensitive, because that's not what I'm trying to do. But she's a person of color, and I know when she first, and I think she was on a show called The Good Place, I think, that was about when you die, going to heaven, and what that looked like and stuff. But anyway, when she was announced to be the host, there was a lot of controversy because people were saying she has no connection to the ballroom, and why is she doing this, and why are you bringing this straight woman up in here to do this? And then I think because of all that controversy, she divulged that she was actually queer in some way. I need to interview somebody about what does that mean. What does queer mean? Because you're gay, you're bisexual, you're asexual, I get that. You're lesbian, I'm queer. I'm sure I could Google it, but it's more fun to talk to somebody else about it. But, yeah, so Michael Rice is in the process of fighting for a piece of the Legendary pie. Because I'm sure Legendary is popular for HBO Max. I'm sure it is. I can feel it when I'm watching it. Hey, I hope that man gets his check. I hope he gets his money. Or as Cardi B said, I hope he gets his money. Okay? Anywho, so it looks like my next thing I want to do, or the final thing, this segment is what's popping on my Facebook. Okay, so what's popping on Facebook? What's popping on Facebook, on my Facebook? Of course, all our Facebooks are different because we follow different people, or we're friends with different people, so our Facebooks may be different. And what's popping on my Facebook right now, because I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my is Hamilton right now. Disney Plus released Hamilton, the Broadway mega beast that everyone wanted to see, that had tickets way too high for me. I wasn't going, no ma'am, no sir, no we. Not for them prices. Cleo wasn't doing it. I love me some theater, but honey, unless your name is Janet Jackson or Beyonce or Destiny's Child or Michael Jackson back from the dead doing the tour, I'm not paying them prices. No sirree, Bob. No sirree, Bobby. So anyway, everybody's talking about Hamilton. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't checking for Hamilton like that until this week. I had downloaded the soundtrack, of course, because everyone was talking about it. And so I'm listening to the soundtrack, and I'm mad. He's rapping so fast, I don't have a chance to relate or care about the characters. Now, when the Schuyler sisters get it going, and get it poppin'. Oh, I'm there. I am there for the song Satisfied. I'm there for Helpless. I'm there for the Scholar Sisters song. Even that Burn song. I'm there for the sisters, right? So when the musical was being released to Disney, I was like, okay, let's see what's going on with this. So I watch it, y'all. I'm impressed. The directing was bomb. The directing was everything. I mean, you got to give it up to Manuel Miranda as they do in Ballroom. Yeah, I mean the directing. I think Thomas Kane, is that the director's name? If that's not your name, I'm sorry, sir. Um, but he killed that directing. I mean, the show period looks beautiful from the costumes to the set. Is amazing. The choreographer, whoever you are, you also get the legendary clap. Whoever you are, choreographer, hats off to you. But anyway, so like I said, before I start listening to before I saw the show on Disney Plus, I was meh about most of the music. But as I watched it, and by this time I've probably watched the show 2.5 times by this point. The songs, of course, make sense. They make more sense in the context of the show, and they're good, clever. He's so clever. The writing is so clever. Renee Elise Goldsberry, she made me want to be a woman. Like, I wanted to be a strong black woman on stage singing those songs. She was so fabulous. I was like, I wish I was a girl when she's doing it. You know how it is. You know how it is when somebody is so good at doing something, you wish you were them so that you could do that thing that they're doing. That's how fabulous she was for me. Yeah, I really, really, really got into Hamilton. I see what the hype is all about. Now, of course, it ain't nothing good that's popular going to be able to live without some controversy, especially when it's adjacent to slavery. Now, he has gotten some slack, a lot of slack, well, not slack, flack about, I'm not going to say whitewashing, but tan washing the slavery in the show. It's not, it's not, it's not real heavy, really dealt with. And in some ways, people felt like some of the reports on it was that it really kind of idolized these men who were slave owners. And this was something that I had to sit with myself. And I know y'all like, Cleo, could you just watch something and not have to get all, but listen, I'm an artist in my background. So I had to sit with it myself too and think like, okay, how do I feel about this? So I get that, the show, that the Hamilton can't be all things to all people, and that probably it shouldn't try to be. Lin-Manuel Miranda did do a really good job, I think, with responding to the criticism and to the critique and taking it like a champ, and basically saying that the criticism and the critique is fair and that he did spend six years working on it, and he did the best that he could do. And part of me was thinking that's spoken like a real boss who's rich and has made millions of dollars on this, and he's basically like, thanks for the comments, but y'all, it is what it is at this point. I mean, he didn't say that, but I can imagine him in the house thinking that because he got his checks and he don't care what we say. But anyway, Hamilton, it lived up to the hype for the most part for me, and it was a joy to see all these mixed race of people playing these different roles. Of course, because I had never seen Hamilton before, I was discovering the actors from a place of where I've seen them since they have been discovered from being on Hamilton, right? So a lot of these actors, of course, broke big from Hamilton, and because we never saw Hamilton, those of us who haven't, we first saw some of these people on Blackish or She's Gotta Have It, the updated version on Netflix, or I'm going to leave it at that because I can't remember where the other people that I've seen. Or Leslie Odom Jr., who I know as a singer, and he released an album, and the musical Hamilton broke a lot of these people's careers, broke them, bigger into the industry. So, but basically Hamilton, it's all that. It is all that. And so anyway, that is us. That is me. We're gonna sign off today for Black in the News. I really enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And this is a new podcast, so we are working out the kinks and working out the process. So if you have some ideas, feel free to shoot me an email to theliberalblack@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Feel free to comment in the comment section if you're watching this on YouTube. Be nice, people, because I am deleting any negative stuff that I see if it's not constructive. Okay, so be nice. Anyway, thank you for listening or for watching, and take care. And thank you for listening to The Liberal Black. Hey, fam. I am so thankful you've chosen to listen to the Liberal Black podcast. If this is your first time, welcome to the family. And if you're a repeat offender, good to see you back, cousin. Head on over to www.theliberalblack.com for more information. You can download this podcast on Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, and Google Podcasts. Also, check us out on Twitter and Instagram. Remember, I am Mr. Cleo, and this is the Liberal Black Podcast. Be encouraged, y'all.